Just gonna wait a minute, make sure everything is. Seems like everything sounds good. All right, everybody. I am calling today on a live stream here to talk about what's going on today. It was a big announcement just made that Joe Biden is in fact dropping out of the race. Now, first, just a little bit of my feelings about that. Him dropping out of the race. If it was by his own accord, it'd be one thing. I feel like he was forced to do it. I feel like I agree with what AOC said in her on her piece is that they don't want this the rest of his ticket, which is a multi-gender, multi-racial, multi-sexual orientation based group, um, the rainbow, if you will. And I feel like the Democrats don't want that because there is a idea that rich white men should be running this country, and that's on both sides of the Democrats and Republicans. So I don't want to see that kind of ticket. Um, I do believe that Joe Biden did a good job in this last term, and outside of him not sounding good at speeches, I see no other reason he should drop out. And then the power of the incumbency, as most people who follow elections know. I was not a Joe Biden fan prior as the candidate, but I became a fan because of the works that he did, which is what you're supposed to do when you're talking about politics. It's about your track record and what you get done. But with that said, Joe Biden is out. He has dropped out of the election. He has made a statement, basically saying that he wanted to continue and that he is going to now focus on what he has to do as far as the rest of his term. Which I would just off the bat, I would like to recommend legalizing marijuana, legalizing gay marriage as a law of the land, legalizing abortion as the law of the land, and also evening out the Supreme Court. Um, these are all things that if he does and the Republicans reverse, they're going to have a lot of explaining to do of why they don't want things to be fair and equal for everybody. So anyway, with that said, once again, Biden is out, and the next move is that he immediately uh, recommended Kamala Harris as his endorsement. Now, people are trying to play it off as if that means he has the Democratic endorsement, which he does not. She has the endorsement of the president. And that's because I believe that Joe Biden didn't want to back out for one of those reasons is that they were going to try to oust her if he would have backed out earlier. Um, so I believe there's going to be something shady that's going to happen. What I believe they're going to do is they're going to try to have an open convention and have the representatives from each of these states vote Kamala out and vote a Gavin Newsom in or a Shapiro from Pennsylvania or a Whitmer from, I believe, Michigan, um, which is a bad idea. Um, my idea would be to go with Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg. They're in the current administration, where Kamala has lost a bit of capital. She still carries with her the women's vote and and a minority vote that would definitely hurt Trump and Vance. And then secondly, Newsom can't run with Kamala Harris because they're both from California. Thirdly, Buttigieg has made a name for himself, both doing his job and for combating negative media about the presidency and the things that they have done and making a good case of the things they've done. And he's a very good speaker. If you recall, he won the first part of the primary the year that Biden won the presidency. He beat Biden and Kamala Harris in what was that? Was it in Massachusetts or in one of those early New Hampshire, like one of those early primaries? But or was it Iowa? He might have won Iowa. That's possible. That seems right. But anyway, he also brings with him a huge gay part of the gay vote and LGBTQ vote. So I would think that would be a powerhouse. And they were more. They were both more progressive than Joe Biden. Um, there's not a lot of stuff that the left can put on, or the right can put on them to hate on them. And also, it's not enough that the progressives can ruin it like they always do. So I believe that I believe in that ticket. Now, see, now a lot of people know that I was behind Biden to keep running, and I was, because I believe that a lot of people who didn't want Biden to keep running were would say, "Oh, because he might not make it through the term. He has Alzheimer's. He has this. If he has to step down, Kamala's going to step in anyway. What do we do? What do we are basically going to get to the same point we would have gotten to if we would have just stayed the course and not make all of the panic movements like Cenk Uygur and Kyle Kalinske and Emma Vigeland. Like they were really, and they used Palestine and Gaza in order to also push the narrative of trying to throw bad shade on Biden. So I really think they really shot themselves in the foot, like they always do, like they did to Hillary, and like that's what got us Trump in the first place. But they don't realize it. Um, but the once again, the Harris Buttigieg ticket takes their power. See, the progressives like to use each individual cause, like gay rights, minority rights, to try to, just try to get their agenda handled by any means necessary, and just throw shade and dirt on anybody's name. But you have Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg, a minority female and a gay white male. You have no shots to take. And if any shots they take are going to take away from the message that they've been lying about for years. So I believe in that ticket. I believe I would definitely vote for that ticket. My real fear is that Kamala might not want to run, but that would be catastrophic for the Democrats. But yes, once again, Biden now, uh, he endorsed Harris, but that does not give her the party's endorsement. I think that, like I said, I think Buttigieg is the best VP pick, also because him debating against Vance, anybody can beat Trump. So Kamala will have no problem as a former prosecutor debating a criminal and making him say things that he doesn't want to say. But Pete Buttigieg is a great debater, and B, he has the military service that can combat against the military service that JD Vance is going to try to lean on as his edge. So I believe that Pete Buttigieg actually speaks more eloquently as a former soldier and as a politician in general. I think he will wipe the floor with him. Pete Buttigieg is still somewhat of a anomaly to them, because he was not, when he first got on the scene as a national figure, he was running for president. And then he immediately got a job in the cabinet of the presidency. So and then did well. So he's really kind of hard for them to deal with, and he speaks well. He knows the topics well. Can't call him Sleepy Pete. And once again, Trump's attacks on Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg would be horrid. They would do nothing but dwindle his voting base, which dwindles every day. But it recycles, which is weird. So anyway, all right. Now for just to end this quick statement here, I am very disappointed in progressive media. The David Packmans, the Brian Tyler Cohens, the Luke Beasley's, the Midas Touches. Those guys, I appreciate their coverage. They've been very, very excellent in their coverage. They've done a great job. But the TYTs, I'm sorry, let me say this, not TYT, but Cenk and Anna specifically. The J.R. Jacksons, the John Adirolas, and the Dr. Richies, great job. But I feel like they're fair and balanced, and they speak it fair. But what Cenk Uygur did throughout this presidency was he smeared the president continuously, over and over and over again. until he made it a narrative, and then he said, put his hands up and said, "Oh, everybody's saying this." Everybody, and didn't say, "All right." Everybody said they thought that cognitive issues were shown by the president, but that doesn't mean that they wouldn't vote for him. See, Jank just assumed that and implied that almost if it were true to fool them to make a narrative as he usually does, like he did against Hillary Clinton. And this has to stop. The Kyle Kalinskis who immediately after everyone started taking the bait on the Biden's has Alzheimer's narrative, they immediately stopped talking about Gaza and Israel, even though Biden continued to broker a ceasefire over there between those two, like he promised he'd do. Maybe not in the time frame that everybody wanted, but he did it diplomatically without putting any of our troops on the ground, and built a port in order to get humanitarian aid into Gaza, which is a olive branch of humanity towards the Arab nations that we've been at tense rivalry with for years. It's really a shame that the progressive media has now turned on Bernie Sanders because he endorsed the president. AOC implied that both of them were crooked. This is insane. And the only one that told you the truth was AOC. But let's try to move forward with this 4 months now to push these guys who have had their faces in the media, Kamala Harris and Buttigieg, who have had their face in the media, who have the who have some of the power of the incumbency of the president, of the office of the presidency. And let's try to make sure that this idiot doesn't get back into office, because if Trump gets back into office, you could thank your progressive uh, commentators. I will, and the majority report, I think they've been more fair than those others that I just mentioned at the end there. But I really want to speak to the younger guys who are really seeing it more clear and actually handling their um, sending their message with less aggression than Cenk Uygur, who can't go without yelling. It's funny he could talk about Trump and laugh and chuckle, but then when he talks about Biden, he's enraged. Like, this man has done nothing but hurt people. And I'm sorry, Joe Biden did a better job than I think anybody else would have done. And I think that they need to realize that. And they can't use Bernie as their god anymore. They can't use AOC as their goddess anymore, because they have turned on those people. People, stop listening to full progressive media. Listen to media that gives you the information. Specifically, if I want to say to anybody, Midas Touch is very good at giving you the information, because it's coming from lawyers and who have to give you a legal basis to what they're saying. Yes, they have some younger and different opinions, uh, opinion commentators, but they are based in law and fact, and that's what we need more of. Less of the emotions and going crazy and yelling to fool people into believing what you show them the facts, and lay out the case. All right, and that's all I have to say on the matter. Once again, Biden is out. Hopefully, Kamala Harris takes the endorsement and gets the endorsement of the DNC, and takes Pete Buttigieg as her vice president. That would be a great ticket, and that is a historical ticket on so many levels. And you heard it here first. That's my opinion. Um, thanks for tuning in. This is the Philly Special. No apologies. And I'll let you next time.